Hello and welcome. On this episode today, I'm going to, or episodes, I'm going to show you guys what I do on in Gmail and how I set up my Gmail to kind of make me more efficient, little productivity hacks, if you will, and also just a good way to organize your files or your emails. And this is something that I've done. I came across this in a blog post and I loved it. And I kind of, at work, I try to help others when they're having issues because you can make Gmail do whatever you want using filters. And that's what I'm going to show. I think I might break this up into a couple videos. We'll and we'll I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to split it up yet, but it might be just one long video. We'll see. But yeah, so this is what we're going to work on today. Okay, so let's start with so this is a blank Gmail. You'll probably have a lot of emails in here, a lot of stuff going on. But the first thing you want to see is in the upper right hand corner, you have a settings, and uh, I guess it's the wheel or um, I forget what they call those, but okay, so you go into settings again, and this is where you have all of your, this is where all the magic happens, if you will. So you can do your general stuff. Um, Start here, I guess. Something I like to do is a show, send, and archive button in reply. And what that does is if you want to send an email and you don't want it to be in your inbox, basically you send an archive, and what archiving does is that it removes it from your inbox, but it doesn't delete it. So it's like in this weird limbo. And if you have it labeled as something else, it'll go into that labeled box. And so it'll sit there until you look for it again. And I'll describe what those labels are in a little bit. You can change your fonts in here. You can change your text sizes, um, your text colors. Some people like to do that to stand out from everyone else. I know someone I email who replies with blue texts, and it's like bright blue, and it's it's very distinguishable, and it like catches your eye, and I know it's him whenever he replies. It's very odd, but hey, it works. It gets the job done. I pay attention. Autocorrect, yeah, you want this. Um, Conversation view. Okay, so sets. So this what this does is sets whether emails of the same topic are grouped together. So in one of my work emails, this was off and it was horrible. Basically, it might be better for you, but basically it is every time you reply to a message, it creates a new thread. Well, it never makes a thread. So each message you get and each reply is its own message. But if you have this on, if you're going back and forth with someone, it'll stay in that same email. So basically, that is great if you want to minimize the amount of emails you see in your inbox, which is I would highly recommend doing that. Smart reply, I think that's basically on now as a default, and it's if you start typing, it will it'll put it or it'll finish a sentence for you, and I think it's great. It makes you more efficient, and you can just hit tab and it'll finish the rest of the sentence. Highly recommend that as well. Desktop notifications. Yeah, sure. Why not? Um, I guess it depends. What happens is in the upper right hand corner, it'll it'll show on the side. It'll pop up here, and you have to click it basically to make it go away. Which you can have that or not, depending on how in the zone you want to get. Um, I miss nudges. Nudges, that's relatively new, and I think it's great. If you say you send an email and they don't reply, uh, Google or Gmail will remind you, or they'll remind you in like a couple days saying, oh, they never responded. You want to give them a nudge. Or vice versa, if you forget to reply and they see that you haven't, they'll nudge you and say, oh, you haven't replied to this in 5 days. Do you want to? And it'll go to the top of your inbox, and I would suggest leaving that on. You can make your signature here, which is great. You don't have to type it every time you compose an email. Vacation responder. Yeah, this is where you set that. That's a good spot to have. Images, always display external images. I leave that on, which is basically if there's an image in the email, it'll show it. So yeah, okay. A lot of the stuff, it's pretty self-explanatory. I haven't even set this up yet, but so this is the main one I want to get to, is the labels. Labels and filters is really what you want to use to make your emailing more efficient. Oh, okay. Before we get to those, let's go to inbox. So if we go to the inbox setting, you'll see updates and forums are not clicked by default. And what do these mean? So if you go back here, I want to save whatever I've done. If you go back to inbox, you'll see here primary social promotions. Social is like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram notifications. They all will be populated into this field, or this inbox. So this is your primary inbox, social, and promotions. And I think marketing companies hate this tab because well, if you have it on, all those promotion emails will go in there by default. And Google's algorithm, they figure out what emails are promotional. But if you do not have those on, if I go back to inbox, if you turn off promotions and social, basically what happens is all of those emails are going to be flooded into your inbox. And I would highly, highly recommend turning those on, because it's one of the best things about Gmail is that it filters out spam, basically, spam marketing emails. So I always leave those on. And then, so forums I don't really do too much in forums, but you can have that on for online chats, basically discussion boards and stuff. And so updates is I don't know, it's kind of like in between. It's not usually primary, meaning you're going back and forth with a client, but so like if you book or if you book a flight, or if you have a bill or um, a confirmation for anything, it'll go into updates, which is good. But sometimes updates also gets some ads or spam, not like not spam, like not real spam, but they will. A lot of emails go into updates, and so that's a good way to filter out non-important things. But say you don't want to have your flight information go into updates and you forget about it, and you're looking in your primary, so you can turn that off, and you would save that, and then now your inbox, now you're going to get everything in your inbox. Okay, so those are some basics right away. So before we go back to labels and accounts, or I'm sorry, filters, we can go through the rest here. So for accounts, I've done this before. You can set up a second email address, and say you have multiple Gmail accounts like I do. I have quite a few. Most of them I don't use, but you can have them send, or you can have one Gmail account, and then you can set it like you can integrate them so you can send as if you were a different account, but you can stay in the same one. I wonder if I have one. Let me check. Yeah, so example in a perfect example, in one of my Gmail accounts, I have my Chris at chrisshimmin.com email. So with that email, I don't have Google by default because it's on a server and it's through a different company. So I have a default email with my chrisshimmin.com account. And since I want the at chrisshimmin.com, I can't use Google. Well, I can, but it would be a business account, but I don't want that. So basically, I'm signed in as my Gmail account, and I set it so I can send as Chris at chrisshimmin.com. So it's kind of like you're hacking the system where you have a Google Suite or a Google Business account without actually having a Google Business account. And so I think that's beneficial if you have a business or if you want to send as someone else. Obviously, you need access to that account in order to set that up, but Google allows you to do that, which I think is very awesome. I also have my old Yahoo account my dad and I set it up when I was 10 or something, and I don't use Yahoo Mail anymore. So I import all of that using the import mail and contacts. I import that into my Gmail, and I never go on Yahoo. Okay, so I'm going to skip this one for now. Forwarding and pop, IMAP. That might be. This is similar to. So let's hold off on that one as well. Let's go to add-ons. I don't use too many add-ons. I guess an add-on would be I use Trello at work, and so over here on the right column you can add an add-on. It's basically an extension. Yeah, and you see you can get Trello, you can get Slack. I don't use too many of these because I mean I can just open the app and use it in there instead of having to access it. Sometimes it's nice say if it's for Trello and you have an email, you can just click this button and say add new card to Trello. Or you can just open a new tab and do it manually. But sometimes that's nice. Chat, I don't use chat in Gmail too often, so I don't know much about that. Advanced, I don't worry about this stuff. I'm not positive what that is, but I've never used any of this. Offline mail, never used it. Themes, I just use the default. But also on the little side note, the stuff on this side here so you got calendar, Google Keep, and tasks. This is relatively new, and if you click on it, it'll show your calendar, and I think that's very convenient and it helps you stay within Gmail. So you have a little short snippet of what your day is going to look like. If this would load. So I use Google Keep. It's just like a Google. It's like Apple Notes basically. So you can connect it with your phone. You can add a Chrome extension. Tasks. That's like a to-do list. That's basically what that is. And it's just a quick little spot to jot down notes. And I like the way that Google has integrated those things within Gmail, because many times I've had multiple tabs open where it was Google or Gmail, Calendar, Keep, and those are three tabs I don't need open. Now I can just have them in here. So Google Calendar. Here we go. So here you can scroll and you can see what's going on. So obviously I don't have anything, just holidays. That's what I have going on. And then, but if you click this tab up here, it'll open it in a new tab. So if you want to see the full week, which is nice, then you can close it. Okay. So now I'm going to get into, let's get into labels. Let's do labels first. Okay. Now I might make this another video.